Hello, everyone. Welcome for another special webinar today. We are going to be talking all about crypto. As always, we have myself and Reef on the call. We have Tim back from his glorious vacation, and we have special guest Bill on here as well. Tim, how are we doing today?
We're doing great, and this is a little bit of a different trend for us on this webinar, and we have a couple of more guests. Actually, I think they're going to be in a room in one of our offices, join us here shortly. But real quick, let me just pick up where you left off saying my wonderful vacation. Yes, it's true. I was on vacation, and I was in Sturgis, South Dakota for the motorcycle rally.
Yeah, baby.
Which was
Very cool.
fantastic. By the way,
Very cool.
they estimated 700,000 motorcycles there this year.
Wow.
Unbelievable. It's like their biggest year ever, 85th anniversary, phenomenal roads. And as a result of this conversation, Bill and I were exchanging emails yesterday, only to discover that Bill also rides. And so now it's on. Now we're going to have to get Bill to Sturgis. What do you think, Bill? You in?
I'm ready. Let's go.
So a couple things here. Marina, the Marina room raised their hand. Reef, can you escalate them to?
Sure. Here, I'll get them on. Don't you worry.
I'm not sure why they were not a panelist. And when we say Marina, this is going to be they're coming in. Do they have a camera or anything on? This is hello, Mr. Alex.
Hey.
And Nick, how are you?
How's it going? Sorry, we were just listeners, I guess.
So just to highlight this for a second, to remind everybody, we're a tech company, but navigating, getting on Zoom calls, I guess, is a little
It's a tech company, but maybe Alex and I aren't now.
Yeah, I got to pick on Alex and Nick there.
Well, Zoom's written in DOS, and these guys are Python people, so I don't know.
Thanks, Bill.
There it is.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so why do we have all these folks on the call, everybody, on this week's webinar? Alex and Nick in particular work and really drive our crypto team. And for those of you that don't know, and I'll have Nick and Alex chime in on this as well, but it is something that we are getting ready to roll out to all of, at least right out of the gate, to our figure wholesale partners, and then basically on a one-on-one basis. And I'll reiterate this at the end of the call. However, if you as a partner have an interest in referring out crypto loans for your crypto type clients, you'll want to reach out to myself on our sales success team, and we'll get the process started for there. To be clear, all you're going to need to do is refer. There is no inquiry to run. There is no pipeline management. There is none of that. And that is one of the big reasons why we wanted to have Bill on the call with us, because Bill, keep me honest here, I think you've already been doing this. Is that right?
Indeed. Yep.
Yeah. And
so
so
the best part of that too is not only is there no portal or lead portal to fill out or anything like that. There's no CFPB. There's no RESPA. So it's all good.
there's Bill singing the tune right there.
Yeah,
No CFPB. Holy smokes. What do you mean? How do I get involved? No, I'm just kidding. So Alex, if you wouldn't mind, maybe just add a little bit of flavor here. Like where are we seeing so far the opportunity? In my mind, if you turn on the news, if you check social media, there's tons of conversations all of a sudden this year being had around the topic of crypto and blockchain and digital assets and that type of stuff. So if you could kind of give us a high level overview of that.
Absolutely. I think it's such a phenomenal year for crypto, given some of the information we're hearing from the administration. There's just openness to more investment to alternatives like 401ks, maybe that there's interest in allowing some investment to crypto potentially, right? We'll see how that goes. So what we've seen is a lot of folks, they've either early crypto purchasers or even more recent, you're still seeing your crypto values rise, right? And some of the folks, they want to maybe take out a loan to fund someone's college tuition, consolidate debt, or buy more crypto, right? And what our product allows them to do is really quickly, right? No hard credit score pull. You take your crypto, it's collateralized, and then we give you a loan for a 50 or 75 LTV, somewhere below 75, right? And can use that money for whatever you want. And then you can still hold on to your crypto. So if it's growing 30% year over year, right? You get to hold on to those gains, right? And the interest rate is, when you compare to that, substantially lower, right? So then you have
Sure.
that hold on your assets.
Okay, so just to confirm what you just said there, and I think this is actually a really good point. If someone borrows against their crypto, which means they're going to get cash, right? And they can go do whatever they want for that cash, and the interest
Precisely.
and the interest rate is this amount. But
Correct.
your point is they're still earning interest on their crypto as well, or the value of their crypto is going up. They're not so much earning
They're
interest.
staying in crypto, yeah, and they get to stay with the long-term growth of crypto. And you zoom out in the charts, those are wild, growth patterns. We don't know if that's going to continue, but we're fairly bullish here, given we're working in this space. So we think holding on is the right strategy for some folks, right? And they just want some short-term liquidity, but they don't want to get up their position.
Yeah, and it's no taxable event. So, let's say you have a $30,000 car purchase you want, but you're gonna have to sell some of your Bitcoin, there's 30% right there. Take out a, less than 10% loan, it actually makes the car purchase cheaper, and you don't have to actually sell out and miss on appreciation on your Bitcoin. So there's a lot of folks there that would be remiss to sell their Bitcoin because they've become attached to it. But there's also a lot of folks that actually want to feel like they're rich because people don't accept Bitcoin for car purchases right now.
Right. And so we don't have to get too much in the weeds on this, but just a question popped into my head. When we have that crypto borrower, if you will, come in, they're also pretty much coming into our marketplace ecosystem, correct? Where now they're navigating in numerous different paths, not just necessarily borrowing against their crypto. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, so when you come in, you'll use our app, or you can use the website still. But if you come in and use our app, we do have a crypto exchange as well. We do have another vehicle where you can get 9% on your money lending against like real world assets like HELOCs, that kind of stuff. So it's really become like a pretty big platform for us. There's a lot of products and tools. But the best part is that when you use us, you don't actually have to worry about like, where's your Bitcoin going or anything like that. We put it into a wallet that's visible on chain for people. And for anybody that doesn't know what that means is it's transparent. You don't have to worry about rehypothecation like some other players in the space. So we do actually think we have the best crypto-backed loan product here. And we think we have a bunch of other really awesome products that once you come in the ecosystem, you can also explore too.
Yeah.
Maybe to add on, one thing that's really unique with our product is for the duration of a crypto-backed loan, you're creating a unique vault, and you put your collateral there. You can go on the blockchain explorer anytime and go into, is my crypto still there, right? Figure it hasn't lent it out, it hasn't moved, right? And as long as the borrower is making their payments, it's going to stay there. Once they finish the payments, we release their crypto back from that unique vault. So it's never commingled with anyone else's crypto. Very transparent.
Wow.
Yes.
I go a step further too. I am a customer as well. If you have a Coinbase or even the new Bullish or Gemini coming out or any of these other wallets, your coins are at risk. With this MPC wallet you guys have created, my tokens are visible all the time. I don't risk them with something happening at the figure side, right? There's no counterparty risk there, so it's a phenomenal product. If you don't have a figure wallet, you should get one if you have crypto.
Yeah, I have the marketplace app on my phone. I'm learning, right? So I'm navigating through that myself. But Bill, jumping to you here for a second, maybe most importantly for our partners and loan originators that may be on the call, how have you and or your sales team gone about identifying those borrowers? In other words, is this a question you ask via a phone call, or how do you identify those crypto styled borrowers?
Yeah, so I'd like to give you a real life example here real quick and share a screen. We're talking about crypto appreciating and what happens over time. This is a phenomenal graphic here that shows that in 2016, it cost you 968 Bitcoin to buy a house, right? In 2020, 4 years later, and this is on the halving cycle, right? Every 4 years, $383,000 house was only 41 Bitcoin. Now today, you know, 2024 ended with a $513,000 house costing 12 Bitcoin. And right now you could buy that house for just under 5 Bitcoin. So if you'd have held the Bitcoin back then and borrowed against it, you wouldn't have had to spend any Bitcoin. You would have had 963 more Bitcoin by paying back your loan with Bitcoin, by paying back that 5 Bitcoin or whatever it is to extinguish your loan if you didn't already, and you still have the house and the Bitcoin, right? So you had dual appreciation. So these are the kind of conversations we're having with our realtors, right? Because it kind of starts there. If the client mentions, hey, can I buy with Bitcoin? Can I use Bitcoin? I always tell them, hey, send them my way. I'll lay it all out for them and tell them, you know, yes, you can liquidate it. You'll pay capital gains. You'll lose your tokens, but there's a better strategy here. And I lay out a scenario like this for them, and people start seeing the lights go off. And then the investor client that's going to spend $1 million on a house, right? He go take that million, put it on the house, gets cash flow from it. It's an investment. If he just put 200,000 or call it 250 at 25% down and gets one of our DSCR loans, for example, and then has that $750,000 available to buy Bitcoin, you're going to have that dual appreciation again, right? So it's phenomenal strategies to keep people in the markets and to show them that, hey, one asset, you know, you can diversify with two very good appreciating assets over time, houses and Bitcoin. So we bring people into the Bitcoin world. We kind of orange pill them, if you will, right? So we like doing that with our realtor clients first, and then as clients call in and start asking questions, we explore what might be best for them.
That is really interesting that a lot of times you're seeing it starting with the realtor. And by the way, I just happened to see a post, I believe it was on LinkedIn this morning, that someone was actually promoting like, hey, we're going to start using cash valued. In other words, you can cash out your Bitcoin. Now, all of a sudden, I think even agency loans are starting to open up to that being the source of your funds. Now you've got to convert it, right? You've got to get it into USD, but nonetheless, and Bill, you can comment on this. I don't know that traditionally, maybe even not today, we have been able to use that as funds to close, as an example.
Yeah, and interestingly, the agencies do have a carve out for it. If you want to use your Bitcoin and get a loan against it, for example, you can't use Bitcoin itself in the transaction.
Right.
The real estate world won't accept that, right? There are companies that will take it, custody it, and then, you know, exchange it for cash for you, but there's a fee for that. You don't really need them. But the agencies say now that unlike a margin account, for example, with your stock portfolio, you can borrow against that margin account and you don't have to impute the payment into your ratios. However, with digital currency, as they put it in their guides, you do have to impute that payment. So you'd have a payment with a Bitcoin loan, you'd have to add that to their ratios. If it works, you can do that now with the agencies. But, you know, we were at MBA, Tim, I saw you there in New York, and Bill Pulte said clearly that we're going to get crypto regulation into the guides. And I was on a webinar 2 days ago where he said you can expect it in weeks. So they are working on it right now.
I think, and Alex and Nick, you can certainly comment on this, but I think my opinion is how quickly this has escalated to actually become a thing. Like it's moving at a very fast pace. And I'm pretty excited that dare I say, I think we're at the forefront of this. Would that be a fair statement, Alex and Nick?
Definitely. I think, you know, while there's been a lot of appreciation, a lot of interest in this space, I think it's still, we're seeing institutions really just for the first time, like dipping their toes, really stepping into the space. So I think there's going to just be more interest. That's going to create kind of a snowball effect for more retail and just the rest of the world kind of put their attention to crypto. So I don't think this is going away. I think it's going to only pick up in pace.
Martis, can you put Martis in here, please?
It sounds like Bill's having a leg chewed off. You gonna be okay?
No. My dog is going crazy in here. I'm not giving him any attention. He's running all over the place.
Lord.
No worries. I thought someone was maybe taking a nap.
Yeah.
So, Bill, back to a different point here a little bit. And Alex and Nick do not know that you do this, so I think they're going to be excited to hear that you do this. But Bill, keep me honest here. Is it every Monday that you have a meeting with your sales team solely on this topic?
Yeah, I do. I do the Bitcoin presentation to our group every Friday, every other Friday.
Okay.
Every Monday, I'm on the DSCR product, and then every Friday, I'm on the HELOC and Bitcoin. Every other Friday, Bitcoin, but HELOC every Friday and Bitcoin every other.
And currently, because we haven't so-called had this turned on, how are you, did we provide you a referral link? Is that what we did?
Yeah.
See Bill's special there. I didn't even know that until just the other day. I'm like, wait, how did he get that?
Yeah, I have an agreement with Claire from some time ago where I share my referrals in and we match it up to people who might gotten loans. So I have one client doing a loan right now that's a VA loan. His ratios, it's a $3.4 million purchase. His ratios won't let him get there for 3.4. But the VA would do it, but he's going to put 400,000 down. He's going to use his Bitcoin to borrow 400,000 and do it that way. So
Wow.
get that loan and
That's
the other
fantastic.
loan. So it's a great deal.
There you go. No taxable event either. He gets to keep it.
Yep. He did his earnest money deposit that way too. He took out a smaller loan for the EMD just to check it out. Now he's going all in.
Wow. That is awesome. Okay, so Alex, I'm going to switch up to you here for a second and put you on the spot. Do you have the ability? Oh no, sorry, Alexander Nichols. Sorry, Alex. I do that. I have these two on the same calls, and we constantly run into that. Alex, could you possibly bring up in test and give some visibility into that referral link for crypto and what it's going to look and feel like as our partners turn this on?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, give me 1 second. But the nice thing about this, just like any of the, actual figure products itself, it's all going to be built into the lead portal system. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to take a look at it. And hold on a minute. There we go. Perfect. Thank you very much, Bill, for giving me the screen. So in the lead portal system, right, what we're going to do is we're going to hit create new. You may be used to this if you're on a partnership type with some of our other products, right? You're going to have a list. So with the crypto backed loan, it is going to be listed in there. So as you reach out to us, right, as we get this turned on for you, this is going to be a new selection. And again, it is a referral in the purest sense of the form. So you're going to put in the first and last name, suffix if it's applicable, their email address, and that state of residence. And what this is going to do, as it says down here, right, it's going to send an email to the customer with a unique URL, basically inviting them to apply to the crypto back application. Much in the same way, if you're one of our correspondent retail partners of the HELOC, right, you may have done a referral link with the HELOC before. This is very similar, though, in the fact that it is saying, hey, Alexander Nichols is inviting you to apply to the crypto-backed loan. And then all they need to do is go through that short online application. So it's very easy for you to send over that referral.
Yeah. Now, the point I want to make here, and then Bill, I want to lean on your expertise here as well, is loan originators. This is simply a referral. My opinion is unless you're a crypto expert, I don't know that you want to go down the path of having those types of conversations. And then Alex Chen, keep me honest here, once the borrower gets into the referral, your team basically takes it and runs with that, right? There's beyond that referral, I don't know that there's any real need for LO involvement. Is that fair?
That's absolutely right. And we have a team that's trained up on the customer success side, a figure to help answer questions, right? Like, oh, what should I worry about for LTV? Where does my crypto go? Like, how do I send stuff in? So we take care of that, right? All you need to do for those on the call is use the referral link, and then we'll take care of onboarding the client, servicing the loan, yes, answering any questions. And the loan application is super fast, right? So I think success rate is very high because all we're asking for is some personal details, like how much you want to borrow, what's your collateral. We do a light check to make sure you're eligible. So the one thing we do check for is no active bankruptcies for the borrower, right? And then afterwards, once they pass that, they sign the docs. They send them the collateral, their loan is funded, most of them within the same business day. So very, very fast.
Wow. Wow, that is really fast. And just to get some clarification, this is not secured by real property. It's not a lien. It's not like a second or third position lien at any level, correct? It's just secured by the crypto itself.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, Bill, back to you for a second. You have this meeting every other Friday with your sales teams. What advice are you giving your sales teams as to how deep, if at all, they get involved on the topic of crypto, or are you simply just leaning on it from a referral standpoint?
Well, I spend an hour. I go through some of the history of Bitcoin, pizza day and all that kind of stuff, and give them just a 360 view of what it is. And basically it's an asset class. But I'm old enough to remember the old loan applications where it was ninja, right? No income, no job, no assets, just sign here. That's what this is, right? So we got a ninja loan now back in the house. So I love that, and truly, there's no work, right? You guys pull a credit report, check for bankruptcies, and it's done, right? You open a wallet and do your KYC AML stuff, and you're out the door, right? So it's phenomenal. So my education is more how to have these conversations with their realtors because they're hearing from their clients first what's going on, right? If you're doing a loan transaction, probably not going to come up unless you're short reserves. And my question sheet now has, do you have any 401ks, IRA, Bitcoin, right? Sort of crypto. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the two that Alex can lend against now, right? So
Exactly.
but there might be others soon, like hash, right? I got a bunch of hash too that I'm excited to own. Right?
Yeah, I've got
So,
some hash too. Can we crank up the value on that, you two? Can
you were just in South Dakota at a motorcycle rally. I'm not talking about that kind of hash. Hash
Yeah.
is the currency for the blockchain that
Totally different, right? Yeah.
right. So make sure everybody understands that.
Well, Bill,
Provenance
you
utility token. Yes.
yeah, right. So Bill, you said something very interesting there, and that is you're adding to your script or suggesting that your LOs add to their script. We all ask borrowers, who do they bank with? What are their assets, right? And they say, I have a 401k, I have an IRA, I bank at Wells Fargo, whatever the case is, right? But you're adding the extra element of, do you have any crypto?
Yep.
And
that usually sparks a conversation with people.
absolutely.
Right? So yeah.
Yeah, I think that is really key for anybody on the call. I think these are conversations that if we're not accustomed to having, I want to encourage everyone to realize we probably need to be. Because every time I turn around, I'm not kidding you, I'm seeing crypto this, or, it's a huge topic right now. So we're pretty excited about this. And Bill, from a referral standpoint, how many roughly do you think you've been able to help crypto borrowers?
Well, yeah, I haven't checked in with Claire in a while. So what I do is I just shoot a list of people over and we reconcile who might have done it. So a handful is all with
Okay.
what's been going on here. But again, I have one of my own transactions that this is making happen, right? So the gentleman was going to sell his other house. Now he can wait and let the market pick up a little bit and use his crypto for the down payment. When he sells the house, he'll pay back the loan, right? So it's a short-term float with an appreciating asset, and he doesn't have to, sell the house on a fire sale right now, right? Because the market for his home, it's a $1.8 million house in Reno. It's a higher end home. It's a little soft right now, so gives him some time. So he loves it.
And just a quick shout out to, I don't know if it's on the inquiry portal yet, but we did create a sales training deck on this topic. So, how to qualify people, what they could use these for, that kind of thing that is out there. If anybody wants it, we're happy to send through that sales training deck. And then the other thing I would say here too is, there might be some stigma around Bitcoin and crypto still that you'll see out there. This is becoming more and more serious every day. And, the people that own it, they don't have any stigma attached to it, right? So if it feels weird bringing up Bitcoin or crypto, one, you could just add it as like a quick question. But two, if people have it, they're not going to have that stigma against it. And so it won't be a weird question or conversation to have with those people.
And they don't want to sell it. So this is a real great
exactly
product that really helped them. Yeah.
Yes, they are big enthusiasts.
Indeed.
And I know Alexander Nichols is about to chime in here on this, so I'm gonna tee you up here, Alex. But Nick, you said it perfectly regarding the training materials we have. And yes, Alex Nichols has built a folder, and this is a great segue into a recent improvement that hopefully everyone is seeing in the lead portal. But our resources, which you used to have to go to like a resource drive link and whatever to access, they now live in the lead portal. And as partners turn on the crypto referral piece, that folder will then live in there as well. So Alex, Nichols, if you can confirm that for us, like that's what the plan is, right? If someone turns on crypto, well, then it will also turn on access to those resources. Is that correct?
That is correct. So after all of this is said and done, I will be sending out my regular webinar email. Attached to that is going to be a copy of that sales deck we were talking about, as well as some more material when it comes to the crypto-backed loan. And then once you are able to get that enabled for your organization, to Tim's point, in the lead portal, not only are you going to have that ability to refer crypto back, but there's going to be in that resource center even more documentation, and we are working on demo videos as well for the borrower flow. So this is going to be, again, fully supported by us, but I really do want to go back to Tim's point, right? It is a referral program. So a lot of it's going to come to, I think, that sales training deck on how to have those conversations with your borrower before you refer them.
Yeah, and I think one is like always on our webinars, the most powerful and impactful piece typically is Q&A, and we do have some questions. So Reef, do you want to kick us off with some of our questions, and Alex and Nick or Bill, if we'll get those answered?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
All right. So Melissa is asking, for those of us not familiar with crypto and leveraging it, what are the selling points to clients with crypto accounts that want to take cash out? Max loan amount, time frame, do they still trade at full value? Is this through Figure?
Yeah, great questions over there. I'll maybe take a first crack and Nick, just fill in anything I missed, but few things there, right? So let's start with the max value, right? If you have one Bitcoin, let's say it's trading today at 110,000, we have a max loan to value of 75. So you take the value they want to use as collateral, multiply it by 75%. That's how much cash they can take out of the system. In terms of timing, we lock the rates for 12 months. That being said, there's no early prepayment penalty. So if the client decides, hey, you know, I just want to borrow and in 6 months I have the cash, I want to pay it off, right? I want to take the crypto out and sell it. They have the opportunity to do so. So it's very flexible for them. And was there a third part of that, Reef, that I didn't get to?
Yeah, so max loan amount, like, are we going to be capping it on the upper level, or is it just be kind of unlimited, depending on how much funds people
Yeah,
have?
so not just LTV, not just
Not
the
just LTV,
value of
but
the
max
crypto,
amount.
but the max loan amount. Yeah.
Right.
Understood. We're comfortable doing loans in the 7-figure area. If there's something larger, you know, reach out to us. You know, we're sure we can make it happen. But as long as the collateral is there, we'll make sure the capital is there to fund the loan. But we want to make sure we have a good experience for larger borrowers.
We market uncapped, but if a larger one comes through, let's talk and make sure.
Yeah, like Bill's loan. That's definitely going to be a monster one.
Exactly. That's why we.
I mean,
we're in close communication.
we've funded, you know, low 7 figures, no problem. If something comes in the 5 to 10 million range, let's talk, but we're probably not going to say no.
Yeah, and then the final part of that question that was there was, is this Figure doing it? So how is that branded for us as a company? Is it Figure?
Yes.
We are the originator service.
Yes, we are the originator. We are the servicer. You know, where the capital is coming from is probably also Figure.
And I do want to step in for that one moment really quick. I want to give props. This is such a cool design on this website. I have been telling everyone this internally. So when the borrower gets that referral link and they click on that link to begin, they're going to go through kind of this experience, right? It's going to be branded Figure. They're going to start and go through that application flow. But man, you guys did a knockout job with this, I got to tell you.
Yeah, and by the way, now I realize where that question was going. We are open to exploring white label partnerships as well, if anybody asks for that. Right now, everything is Figure branded, but let's talk if anybody has any kind of white label questions.
Very interesting. And the next question is, I'll take it from an anonymous attendee. Is there still a small compensation for LOs that submit crypto? Yes, and that's why we have to turn them on one at a time. We have to arrange with your entity and our partner referral agreements. So yes.
Thomas is asking, so we can do both BTC and ETH. How would Figure compare to a BTC loan from Coinbase, for example?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. So there's a couple of things to consider in the industry that's happening. We are the lowest fixed rate 50% LTV in the industry at sub 10% APY. We're at 9.999%. Coinbase does this very complicated decentralized finance mechanism where they essentially take the Bitcoin, they like put it on chain, they wrap it. It's this whole complicated process, and it's variable overnight. And right now, I think it's at 5.8%. So if someone just wants, complicated DeFi, Coinbase low variable rates, yeah, they'll go that way and figure it out. It's pretty complicated. But if they want something that's just super easy and fixed, and they can defer interest payments, that's when they come to us, and we are the lowest in that genre.
So Nick, just to clarify, you made the comment, you said variable overnight. Are you indicating that means it's variable every single night?
I mean, it's variable by the minute.
The block.
By the block. Yeah.
Wow.
So we think Coinbase is like probably funding it with their balance sheet, and they'll probably start pulling their balance sheet out over time. And then you'll actually get the natural supply and demand. It'll probably be closer to where the fixed, long-term rates are. But yeah, I mean, that 5%, that 5.7% could spike to, 13, 14% by the minute one day. So I do think that's a selling point. I think the people that you're going to be talking to are probably not aware of one, Coinbase's product, and two, they probably would be pretty scared off on how it actually works, because it's very decentralized finance heavy. And there's a lot of complicated things associated to it.
There are a few more steps, right? I think the 2 additional steps I would call out is you got to figure out how to take your Bitcoin, make it collateralizable, because that has to happen on Ethereum chain. So that's complicated. And then you're going to borrow USDT or USDC, and banks aren't going to take that. So then you got to change that back to fiat US dollars, basically, and then send it to wherever it needs. So we're simplifying there, and we haven't even talked about gas fees and wallets for you to get that done.
Yeah.
So there's a crowd that product is, suited for, but I think for vast majority of folks who are dipping their toes and trying to understand it, we have a superior experience.
And I think one of the biggest benefits to the figure one, if I may, is the custody thing, right? So the vault that you talked about, Alex, is exactly right. It doesn't go anywhere with them. It goes into their pool of tokens, right? So
Right.
Yes.
there's a lot of
Smart contract,
counterparty
right?
risk.
Yeah.
The
Who
counterparty
knows,
risk
like,
gets
it's
accelerated
secure.
as you go to stable coin and back and bank. There's a stack of counterparty risk going in it where there's none with this one. So.
That's right. Every time you wrap or bridge, there's contract risk, right? Those can get hacked. Topic for another time. It's very complicated.
Yeah. No, that's great. And I love to see that we stack up well. It probably at the top of the chain, it would, hey, see that? I said chain, you see that? I'm
Yeah. I was at the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas back in May, right after New York, Tim, when we were in NBA. And Jack Mallers, who owns Stripe, he got up and said, "We're going to be the first sub 10, lender," and the room went nuts when he said 999. And Alex, you got it at like what, 819 right now, or 891?
891 interest, and then APR of 999. Yeah, I think with Stripe, what I saw was they had like 9.999, but you had to borrow like a minimum of 10 or 15 or 25 million. So it was kind of a yes, but
it was just to get the room pumped, right? So,
almost like a loss leader. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are going to keep trying to trend rates down too. There's almost, there's very little risk for us because these are all over collateralized loans, right? So we'll trend rates down over time, but I think people are, one, going to be pretty happy with these rates to begin with, and two, my hunch is if you're talking to them, they're probably not aware of how intricate or deep the ecosystem can be. And so this is already one of the best products in the ecosystem. They probably aren't aware of the competition, but we stack up well regardless. So you could feel comfortable pitching this product to them because it is one of the best already.
Well, and not only that, Nick, you guys are working together is relatively recent. Our team with the crypto team with Alex and Nick and whatnot, and I'm loving every minute of it. By the way, every meeting I'm having, I feel like I learn more. But I will share with you, and I say this a lot, and I want loan originators to understand this. People you're talking to about a potential crypto loan or any other loan, remember that there is a need separate from interest rate. It is not about the rate. It is about what their need is and how you can come up with the best strategy for them to complete or fulfill that need. This gives you one more strategy to add to your conversations. Does that make sense, Bill? Does that add up for you?
Yeah, and if you go back to the example I showed earlier,
Yeah.
you'd still have $100 million worth of Bitcoin and the house if you'd have done the loan in 2016 instead of selling 968 tokens. So I think
Yeah,
that
so-
all people that own it, they already kind of get that. Like Nick was saying, that is something that it's not a hard sell, right? The rate isn't really a tough discussion at all. Everybody says, yeah, great, because it's been 15, 14 for years.
Right.
And it's actually, regardless of the rate could be 1% higher, 2% lower. If you're comparing it against the tax event equivalent, right, where now all of a sudden it's 30%, even at long-term cap gains, that's still a huge savings, right? Which didn't exist before something like this.
And in their head, they see this trend, they want to keep it, they don't want to sell it.
Yes,
So
exactly.
It doesn't matter if you go up 40, 50% in value in your Bitcoin in a year, like we're going to do this year, then that 8% rate's nothing, right? You still got your Bitcoin. So
You guys like how Bill has a crystal ball behind him in there somewhere? He's forecasting
200 by the end of the year. You heard it here.
Oh, let's go.
Reef, go ahead with our friends, Mr. Anthony's questions here. I want to make sure we get to those.
Sure. So do we control the private keys / seed phase for the Bitcoin wallets, or are they going to be sending the Bitcoin into a new wallet? I think we touched on this a little bit, but we have clarity on
Great
that.
question.
It's a really good question. So this is what we talked about with the decentralized multi-party computational vaults we've set up. So what we have is Figure has a required but insufficient key share, right? The key is basically split into many parts. And there are other MPC hosts, or you can think of them as guardians, right? And whenever someone wants to move their crypto, it's going to look for a signal from the system. Hey, did this borrower actually sign something with their account, right? So there's an audit trail. This is an authentic withdrawal request, right? Same thing with sales. So that means Figure alone can't move the crypto. There's some oversight from other partners to make sure that we're always doing the right thing. That's how we are preventing against from loss or losing crypto. So decentralized MPC is our solution.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really great question. If you end up getting into the weeds at that point, that person is very knowledgeable. And I think what you can kind of talk about a little is, I don't know if people remember, the people that you're going to be talking to about this is like, they probably remember like FTX or BlockFi. And what happened there is people had their crypto with those entities, and when they went bust, now that you're locked up in bankruptcy court trying to get your assets back for 4 or 5 years afterwards. When you send your Bitcoin into this multi-party computation wallet, you are free essentially from that single entity failure. So the way it kind of works, in like a different way to say it, is you send your Bitcoin into a new wallet, a fresh Bitcoin wallet, and there's 3 parties that control that wallet. One is Figure, 2 are other non-Figure entities. We want to get that up to like 9 one day as well. And so if Figure went bust, which it's not going to happen, it's still in that multi-party computation wallet. There are still 2 other entities that you can just get your Bitcoin back from, and eventually 9. And so we think this is the safest way to do Bitcoin lending in the entire industry as a result.
That's awesome. And then go ahead, Reef.
I was gonna say, Anthony's asking about NMLS licenses for referrals. If we can do them in all 50 states, would they need to be licensed in any capacity, since it's technically a non-QM type loan? And if they can redo the loan after 12 months, or if it's renewable annually.
Yeah.
So Bill, do you have any take on that? I actually
Yeah.
don't believe there's any NMLS license required, is there?
No. This is not a real estate transaction at all.
Yeah.
Right? This is a margin account against your Bitcoin wallet at Figure. So there is no regulation on that other than the regulators for Figure, which is fully SEC approved. I mean, I told Mike Cagney personally that I have never seen anybody have such foresight to set the thing up from the very beginning as if it were a security, right? Nobody else has done that. So everybody else is arguing whether or not to have the security. XRP, I see someone has a comment, been in the lawsuit for years over that, right? So it's fully SEC approved, it's FinCEN, there's no regulators that aren't having eyes on this, and there's no other Figure lookalike out there right now. So this is by far the best one, and the rumors of an IPO coming out, right? So that's pretty cool.
I know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Not allowed to.
There was an S1 filing or something.
That's
I heard about, so.
yep. La 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 la. Okay.
So
I'll
the-
jump into, sorry, I'll jump in to answer the question about renewal though. So we do have a nice, towards the end of a loan, right? 2 weeks before maturity, we send them an email, hey, like, do you want to roll your loan to a new one? Maybe rates have gone down that time. They click a button, they say, yep, I agree to the new terms, move my collateral over, boom, that's it, right? So super streamlined
Wow.
process for them. In terms of, jurisdictions, I will say like, agree with what's been said here. There are some restrictions that we do have, so state level minimums, I think that's probably in the educational documents.
It is.
And there are certain states that we don't yet originate CBLs in, we're working on that, also in the documents, but I think we cover like 40 states and regions in the US, and then most countries internationally.
Yeah, I know Alexander had, and I know it was a quick look at that referral link, but right there, when you click on that link, there is a list of states that we cannot currently do CBL.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
And keep in mind too, there will be a more in-depth product guide if you're interested in international. There is a list of obviously countries we don't lend in.
Right.
Right there on the referral to Tim's point, you'll see the states we don't lend in.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody deals internationally, but we're basically available in most countries, just the ones that aren't on any sanction lists, essentially.
Right.
And that's one of the great parts about crypto is it goes across borders like the borders kind of don't even exist. So if you are talking to international clients, this is probably a new product that you haven't been able to, a new audience that you haven't been able to reach before with us, and now you can.
That's actually a great call out, Nick. I think there might be some opportunity there. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting.
Love it.
Go ahead, Reef.
Yeah, sure. So other asset classes, right? So currently I think we're supporting BTC and ETH. There's questions about XRP, but any other assets we're thinking about?
We're thinking about some of the largest crypto assets out there. I can't confirm anything yet. There's stuff in the works, but I'm hopeful that we'll be able to take some more asset types in the near future.
Awesome. Do we have a minimum loan amount for this product? Kind of no max, but maybe other than the state level minimums, is there an absolute minimum that we're looking at?
It's the state level minimums, yeah. We prefer people stay, at least above 10,000. That's kind of, that profitability zone too. So, go after folks with the larger loans, but we'll service the smaller ones too.
Awesome. Credit scores, I'm assuming they do not matter. I know we talked a little bit about
Do not matter, no.
They don't matter. We do a soft credit pull just to make sure there's no active bankruptcies with that borrower, but other than that, credit score does not play a factor in approval.
And the reason why we only care about the bankruptcy piece is because there might be a claim on that Bitcoin.
Exactly.
That's literally it.
Right.
Otherwise, we wouldn't care.
Awesome. And then the follow-up question was just if rates are kind of similar to our HELOC products in general.
And I'll say not, I mean, in some cases they're lower, right? But there's really no comparison between the two. Completely different process and product.
Right.
But I mean, I suppose depending on the borrower, you might look at a HELOC and see, 11%, and you might look at Bitcoin and it's 9.99. Well, totally different product.
Right.
Anthony's asking about Aave before. He apparently used to own it, and how are the rates compared to that? I'm not too familiar with the rates.
Yeah, Aave, right?
Oh, Aave.
Yeah, so that's another DeFi platform, right? You connect your wallet and you put your crypto in, and then you can take something else out. Generally, those also have rates that fluctuate every block, so like every minute or so, your rate can go up or down. The variable rate products are going to be lower rate than fixed term products because we need to allocate that capital for a longer period of time, right? So I think Aave was maybe like 6 or 7%, and then that's you also have to keep in mind you have the gas fees to enter that loan and take out the loan.
I think that the biggest thing that I think I would say, if you have those conversations with people that are talking about decentralized finance like Aave or Morpho or Coinbase, the big thing here is you can defer the interest payments with us, right? So you don't actually even have to pay interest on this. So if Bill's saying that we're appreciating 40 or 50% a year on Bitcoin and our rates are 8%, whatever it is, and you defer the interest, nothing's actually coming out of your pocket. You're just letting Bitcoin appreciation pay down your loan, right? On the Morpho and Aave and like decentralized finance side, you're paying the interest all the time, block by block.
Great block by block.
Right. So that's actually another really big difference is you don't have to actually pay anything as long as Bitcoin appreciation is going up and you're deferring interest payments with us and the fixed rates. But if you're doing the variable like block by block stuff, you are paying the interest as you go and they could spike on you.
That's compounding on the flex rate side, whereas ours simple interest.
Right.
And those terms are normally shorter too. You guys will go a year and then renew after a year. So
Exactly.
that's a
We
huge.
guarantee that rate for the year.
Exactly.
A
Awesome.
lot of our borrowers want that predictability.
I would still be very surprised if I'm actually really happy and surprised that you guys are asking those questions. I would be very surprised if the people that you're talking to are going to ask those questions. Like Bitcoin people generally won't know about decentralized finance. The Ethereum people will, right? Ethereum is where decentralized finance was built. The Bitcoin people will not because there are no smart contracts on Bitcoin. So that's actually a pretty good call out. If you're talking to Bitcoin people, they're not going to ask about decentralized finance. If you're talking to Ethereum people, they will.
That's awesome. So I believe we already said no to this question, but the underlying Bitcoin, we are not rehypothecating, right?
No, never.
No, and you could actually verify that yourself with the wallet. We give you the wallet address where your Bitcoin is. You can look on chain and see it yourself.
Transparency at its finest. Beautiful.
Exactly.
Anthony said he was part of the Celsius bankruptcy, BlockFi, and FTX. This sounds like a much better solution, which I agree with.
That's literally why we did the decentralized custody, because we didn't want that to even be possible.
Thomas is asking, can the pledged Bitcoin somehow be relinquished to pay off the loan without triggering a taxable event?
Love that one.
Tax advice.
I thought I was gonna be able to say yes until I heard the second part, right? So you can't ask for your collateral to be liquidated to pay off the loan, but you can talk to your tax advisor about capital gains.
Hey, I didn't sell it. You sold it. I didn't do it.
BTC.
I love that. That's funny, but yeah, the IRS has the new 1099 DA and stuff. There's a lot of regulation coming around, with the Genius Act now doing stablecoin stuff. The feds are going to get involved, so it'll get more clear. But right now, it's get a good accountant.
Yes.
I'll actually ask you gentlemen a question that I have for you before we address the last one in the Q&A is when we have partners reaching out to us, maybe they don't have access to this yet or the referral program, should we funnel them strictly to you guys, or is there going to be some type of internal thing?
Two pieces there, and Reef, I'm glad you asked the question. Now I'm in trouble because you're on my team and you don't know the answer, so that means I've failed. Admittedly, no. Reef was on vacation last week. In all fairness, so here's what's going to happen for all of you that are interested in this. Again, you'll email Alex. Put our sales success team email in the chat there. Alex will always, Alex Nichols, that is, will always follow up just like every webinar with a recording of this session and all of our team's contact information. The first step will be to reach out to us and show an interest that you would like to turn this on. We're going to first be doing this very quickly with our Figure wholesale partners. We have referral comp agreements ready to go. We just need to get it to your leadership, have it completed, and then it's ready to turn on. So that will be the first step. And any partner really, just reach out and let us know, and then we'll start the process. Few more hoops to jump through, I think, with our retail partners. So that's why I keep saying our Figure wholesale, because it's our quickest launch. But I got to tell you, Alex, Nick, and Bill, I've learned a ton myself. So I'm starting to feel like I can start talking about this, which I think is ultimately the goal we want for all of our partners. And then Reef, I think we have one more question.
Yeah, it's about the rate, and I believe we're offering a fixed rate for 12 months. If I'm incorrect, please let me know.
That's right.
It could change if BTC changes.
It won't change once someone has taken out the loan. It won't change.
Right.
We do want to keep lowering the rate over time. That's something you always want to do. Lower the rate as far as you can to get more and more people interested. But if they take out a 1-year fixed rate loan with us, that will not move.
That's really the selling point: predictability versus the Aave and Morpho loans. Block by block, things could spike up, right? You never know.
Yeah, but when Bitcoin hits 200 on December 13th this year, then they could take some of that off the table, right? You'll let them pull some collateral back as long as they keep that original LTV intact.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So that's one of the benefits of our product, super easier, collateral doubles in value, you can take half of that, right? Assuming they're paying off interest, right? But
And Bill, that was December 13th, you said?
Yes, sir.
Just wanna write that down.
I don't know
So,
where it came from.
so listen, Alex and Nick, you might want to bring Bill over onto your team, and I like.
I mean, I kind of want to employ him as a trader. I mean, that's
I'm gonna need some
that's
luck.
great.
Well, listen, we are coming up on time, so I want to end with this. Number one, think opportunity. Think additional strategies that you'll now be able to offer some of your clients. The key to anything, no different than even with our HELOC, which I want to strongly reinforce here, is the power of questions. As loan originators, make sure you're asking the right questions and therefore respond with different strategies. This just gives you another strategy for the right borrower. To reiterate this, there is nothing for you to do. There is no pipeline management. There is no customer service follow-up. There's none of that stuff other than to simply make the referral. I think, Bill, you've been phenomenal at highlighting how well this works. And of course, Alex and Nick with our crypto team, thank you guys so much. Well, welcome to the day in the life of the sales success team on our webinar. So hopefully you two have had some fun here. Again, to recap, we will be sending out, Alex Nichols will be sending out the recording, any necessary information on how to reach back out and contact our team. You'll simply let us know at salessuccess@figure.com. There's an interest, and we'll take it from there to start working on the referral agreements and get all the typical stuff done. And then want to continue to be a resource for you. Any final thoughts, Mr. Bill?
No, just talk to your realtors, make the conversations, ask probing questions, it brings it up, and then people get to learn more. So a lot of people are curious about Bitcoin, they don't understand it, they don't know how to use it. And that usually starts with a conversation with their agent. So, and ask if they have crypto as one of their assets.
Fantastic. Alex, Nick, any final thoughts you might have?
No, I'm excited. I kind of want an Under Armour figure shirt now. I didn't know we had those. Yeah, I'll be following up separately after that. Oh yeah, or an Axen shirt. I don't know if
Yeah,
we might just have to get this team some figure sales success team hats. We might just have to make them a part of the team.
sign me up.
I'm in.
Nothing else. Thanks for the great session. I had a lot of fun just being part of the conversation.
Yeah, well, we want to help and support. And again, I think Figure as a whole is really on the forefront and doing some pretty exciting things, all in the name of giving our partners additional strategies. So take it serious, engage. If you're not engaged, I'm telling you, there's no more time better than the present to become engaged, and reach out to us. We're here to help and support at any level. Everyone, thank you. Thank you, our guests. Really, this has been a ton of fun. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. And we will look forward to turning on crypto for you all very soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks all.
Thank you, everyone.
And
See ya.